Chapter 279. With a clatter, Sia flung out a yellow materialized chain and tied it around one of the Parallax Demon's thick arms, signaling the start of the attack. Batman threw out a bat dart and looked at the effect before flying into the bat fighter. Nightwing was helpless and could only join the team on the ground to help the old and weak. The main attack came from Thea and Superman. Thea held the chain with her left hand to prevent the Parallax Demon from running around. She held a long sword in her right hand and kept stabbing the Parallax Demon. Later, she realized that this was too inefficient and changed to a big knife to cut off the smoke and tentacles on the Parallax Demon. The parts that left the Parallax Demon's body turned into yellow energy. 60% was absorbed by the Parallax Demon while 30% was absorbed by Thea's yellow ring and the Book of Inspection. Another 10% disappeared into the void. Thea was a little depressed. Her instinct told her that the missing energy went to Sinisto. I've been fighting for my life and I can still get an upgrade while hiding in Eurasia. This is so annoying. The consequence of being annoyed was to kill even more. She could at least get 30%. Her bravery really surprised Superman. With a strong sense of mission, he could not afford to be careless. He took a deep breath and blew the ice breath at the Parallax Demon. Batman, who was piloting the Bat Fighter, cooperated with him and shattered the frozen parts. Green Lantern Hal Jordan joined the battle midway. He materialized a machine gun and fired green energy bullets at the Parallax Demon. Although the joint efforts of the few of them caused quite a lot of damage to the Parallax Demon, there were too many people in the coastal city. It had been peaceful for too long. Amanda's explosion did not frighten the people of the city. There were still many people hiding in their homes, thinking that they could escape the disaster. However, their wishful thinking caused a lot of trouble for Thea and the others. This is bad. This guy replenishes quickly too. Unlike Thea's Eye of Horus, Superman's X-ray vision had almost zero energy consumption. When he had nothing to do, he would look around. He was the first to discover the anomaly. The few of them fought for a long time. The Parallax Demons were constantly absorbing the fear of the citizens, and the total energy value was increasing slightly. If Sinisto were here, he would have ordered a massacre. Unfortunately, these people were heroes of justice. Even if the sun rose from the west, they would not do such a thing. Can you release some stun weapons to stun everyone? The Parallax Demon was fully focused on absorbing the fear and did not pursue them. This attack was in vain, so they retreated to discuss countermeasures. Thea saw the helplessness of the heroes of justice and gave them an idea. Good idea! Superman and Green Lantern praised in unison. However, none of them, including Thea, had any means of stunning her. The three of them looked at the person who had jumped out of the Bat Fighter. Damn it! Seeing the three Inhuman guys waiting for him to speak, Batman almost cursed out loud. Did he have such a weapon? Of course he did. But what would the country and the military think if he released a weapon that could stun an entire block? Why did you secretly develop such a powerful weapon? In the future, countless questions from government officials and the Pentagon would annoy him to death. However, the arrow had already been knocked. In order to prevent more casualties, he had to continue being the scapegoat. He quickly switched the magazines on the Batfighter and released 3 high-intensity stun bombs into the city. The high-decibel noise reverberated through the usually quiet coastal city. The loud noise was a little too much for the heroes. Thea conjured a soundproof room. Hal Jordan saw it and was very inspired. He also made one and hid in it with Superman, who had a keen sense of hearing. His energy growth seems to have stopped, Superman said to the few of them. They were affected by the noise, but the Parallax Demon had long lost the ability to hear. They hid in the small yellow and green house boldly. The Parallax Demon was not blind. He was directly smashed to pieces and continued to fight. The few of them attacked together again. They could see that the Parallax Demon's energy growth had slowed down. Thea found that her energy growth was almost stagnant. Now, in order to continue to maintain the huge energy consumption, she could only absorb from the Parallax Demon. While avoiding the attacks of various smoke tentacles, she cut off its limbs and absorbed its fear ability. While she was fighting, she saw Nightwing on the ground pass by her on a motorcycle and threw her a headset. Needless to say, it must be Batman's. She connected the line. What's the matter? 5 F-22s from the National Guard are about to depart and enter the battlefield in 5 minutes. The regular army is also on the way. Amanda wants to know if we can defeat this guy. Batman was also exhausted. He was fighting monsters while dealing with all kinds of wrangling. Is Amanda on the line? I'm here. Can't you guys drag this big guy out of the city to fight? The voice of the commander in black came from the communicator. This guy has no feet. Can't you see? He hasn't moved a single step from the fight until now. What do you want me to do? Thea was also helpless about the demolition scene. The destructive power of the few of them was too great and there was no way to control the energy. The only good news was that the reconstruction work would be difficult. Unlike Wayne Enterprises, which had long transitioned to biopharmaceutical research, and Luther Group, which focused on high-tech materials. As the only company in the country that still retained a large number of construction teams, the future reconstruction of Seaside City would be a big cake. Thea canceled the giant's materialization. She didn't know if the parallax demon was possessed by the guardian little blue man. Could be said that it didn't know any martial arts. When faced with Thea's attacks, it didn't dodge at all. It only knew how to stab each other. Such a simple and crude combat ability left Thea speechless. No matter how clever her moves were, she couldn't do anything against this. She could only materialize a giant dragon with greater physical attack power. The dragon's teeth, claws, and wings flapped. The golden dragon looked quite righteous if one didn't consider the energy source of the light ring. The giant golden dragon grabbed the parallax demon's body. Its huge head seemed to be its weakness no matter how Thea looked at it. Without caring about the energy consumption, the dragon's claws dug into the parallax demon's body and pulled out the parallax demon's head with all its might. The heroes weren't stupid. They aimed at the parallax demon's head with all their might. Thea's giant dragon was blocking Superman's angle of attack, so he could only sweep it with his heat ray. Batman's fighter also activated all its weapon systems and launched a barrage of frost bombs and incendiary bombs. However, the combined attack power of the two of them was not as powerful as Hal Jordan's. Every time the green energy bomb that represented courage hit the parallax demon's body, the energy in the parallax demon's body could be seen rolling violently. Green Lantern, don't stop. Your attacks are the most effective against him. Thea encouraged Hal Jordan loudly. After accidentally taking a green stray bullet, she also experienced the damage caused by the Green Lantern and the Yellow Lantern's attributes. Hal Jordan, who was already crazy to begin with, was like a runaway horse. He started shooting even more recklessly. Chapter 280. However, 3 seconds later, Thea was infuriated by Hal Jordan's idiotic behavior. The parallax demon seemed to be dissatisfied with Thea's materialized dragon lying on its face. It opened its mouth wide and a yellow energy beam was rapidly brewing. Thea quickly controlled the dragon to avoid the front. Unexpectedly, the parallax demon's lips curled into a sinister smile. 2 giant hands reached out from the smoke, grabbed the dragon and threw it at Hal Jordan, who was happily firing at it. This idiot did not even notice who was coming. A fierce rain of bullets directly thinned Thea's energy shield by a layer. Idiot! Do you have eyes? Thea was trembling with anger. Hal Jordan also knew that he was too happy and quickly apologized to her. Thea needed to recover the energy that was depleted by her own people. This frontline shield task was handed over to Superman. Even though the closer he was to the parallax demon, the stronger his fear was, Superman still charged forward without hesitation. No, Superman's energy consumption is too great. Amanda, can you transport the Scarecrow to the front line? The safety of Earth requires his expertise. Thea looked at Superman and realized that he was mostly using his steel body to tank the damage. His expression was getting worse and worse. He could only contact the people outside to see if they could remove this unfavorable aura. I'll do it right away. Time passed quickly. Amanda brought the Scarecrow, who was supposed to contribute to the safety of Earth, to the scene. It had to be said that Gotham was full of talents. This professional collected some air at the scene and drew some blood that was infected with fear from the 2 agents who were known as the most stubborn of the Heavens Eye Society, who had guns pointed at his head. After that, The Scarecrow excitedly took out a bottle of blue liquid that looked more like a potion than a syringe and handed it to Amanda. "Only one bottle?" Thea asked Amanda, who was also a little weak in the knees but was still holding on. "The material is very precious. It involves extraterrestrial material." There was no doubt that the syringe was precious. However, who should it be used on? It seemed that the most suitable person was the big guy in the blue tights and red cape in front. "Is this drinkable?" Amanda rolled her eyes at Thea. "It goes into the bloodstream. Why don't you have any common sense?" Thea had too much common sense. How could she not know? She also knew that the needles on Earth could not penetrate Superman's body. But she could not tell Amanda that. For a moment, he didn't know how to tell the story. Fortunately, Superman's good friend, Batman, solved her problem for her. "I can inject him, but he will be weak for a while after the injection." Oh? Did Batman already have kryptonite at this time? Did Superman give it to him? She really trusted him. "I can help him recover his energy. Go ahead. I'll hold off this monster." Thea summoned a golden armor giant to stop the parallax demon. "You can restore his energy?" Batman dragged his voice as if digesting the information. Then, he asked Superman to retreat through his communicator and inject the syringe. It seemed that nothing was wrong, but one could imagine that there would be many new entries on Thea's introduction page in his little black notebook when he returned. 2 minutes later, Batman signaled Thea to come back. Superman was about to die. "Green Lantern, can you hold him off first?" Thea did not know how many times she had slashed the parallax demon and how many times it had stabbed her. This kind of fight looked fierce, but in fact, they were absorbing each other's energy. No one could do anything to the other. Green Lantern Hal Jordan gave her a thumbs up. "Don't worry. I'm very good at attracting people's attention." Thea was stunned for 2 seconds. Did this guy mean that he had a mocking face? What a rare talent. However, was this guy really trustworthy? Just as Thea was hesitating, 5 raptors from the National Guard arrived. They did not care about the heroes and villains at all. Instead, they fired missiles at the ground. Thea hurriedly put up a defensive shield. Such a melodramatic thing disgusted her. In the movies, she could always see the military killing the good guys and the bad guys regardless of the consequences. If it weren't for the effect, she would have shot down these airplanes. What the hell was this? Thea immediately left the parallax demon to the Green Lantern, who was good at attracting people's attention. Together with his former pilot, they quickly flew to the rear. Thea almost did not recognize Superman when she saw him again. The strong man was so weak that it seemed like a gust of wind could blow him away. The blue tights that were originally bulging were now loose on his body. He asked Thea weakly, "You can restore me? I've never heard of such an ability. The universe is very big. Lie down first." Thea was a little impressed by these two. They were indeed heroes of justice. They did not even ask her about the process and directly took down Superman. If she was the bad guy, she would not betray their trust. Although she did not understand the principle, the yellow light ring clearly mentioned that the Kryptonians could be charged. Such a rigid ring would not lie. She extended her right hand and aimed the ring at Superman. A pale yellow beam of light connected the two of them. Amazing, it works. The half-dead Superman immediately sat up and began to absorb the energy. He felt good, but Thea was not so happy. Superman's body was like a bottomless pit, continuously absorbing the energy of Thea's yellow light ring. When the yellow light ring's energy was only 10% left, Thea unilaterally stopped the energy supply. "Damn, how can you absorb so much energy? Judging from the intensity of your battle just now, you shouldn't have so much energy. Could it be that your body's energy is not full?" Superman was a little embarrassed. "Sorry, I can't control it when I absorb it. But you're right, my energy is not at its best. Okay, my fear is gone, and my energy has increased to 80%. Leave this big guy to me." After saying that, Superman rushed to the front of the parallax demon at a speed that Thea had never seen before. He did not care about the difference between a virtual body and a physical body. He threw a punch at it. The air seemed to ripple from his punch. Time seemed to have frozen. After a few seconds, there was a violent explosion. So strong. Thea took out the charging lantern and charged the ring. She could not help but exclaim in her heart when she saw Superman's extremely powerful punch. When one's strength reached such a level, they could really ignore a lot of things. Regardless of the enemy's level and state, they could only rely on pure strength to crush them. This was the future god of strength. Superman ignored the fighter jets in the sky that included him. He punched and kicked the parallax demon. His every punch and kick had a strange rhythm. Thea's eyesight was not enough to judge the meaning behind it. She could only feel that Superman's every attack contained great power. The parallax demon was in the form of smoke. No matter how hard it tried to attack, its attacks could not even tickle the body of steel. It was beaten up badly by Superman.